Before we dive into what may be the most important message you've heard in a long time, I want to take a heartfelt moment to honor those of you who have supported this channel through Super Thanks. Your generosity doesn't go unnoticed. It's not just a gift, it's a seed planted in divine soil. And I believe with all my heart that God is about to return it to you in ways far beyond what money could buy. Peace, breakthrough, protection, and supernatural increase. Even if you've simply liked, commented, subscribed, or just silently listened. Thank you. May your faith be rewarded 100-fold. Now, I need you to listen closely. Have you ever had a moment where you felt like time paused, like the universe, heaven and earth, aligned to whisper something directly to your soul? If you're watching this video on May 15th, it's not a coincidence. It's a divine appointment. You didn't just click on a video, you were called to this moment. Something in your spirit led you here, and whether you fully realize it or not, you've stepped into a sacred portal of time, one that was marked for you before you were even born. The winds have shifted in the spirit realm. There's a stirring in the atmosphere. Angels are on assignment. Prayers that felt unanswered are now being unsealed. Hidden things are being revealed. Delayed blessings are being released. And if you've been wondering when your next would finally arrive, this is it. For some, May 15th is just a date, but for you, it's a divine checkpoint. It's a moment where heaven intersects earth. You've endured spiritual warfare. You've stayed silent when you could have spoken in anger. You've trusted when you were tempted to give up. And now, God says, your obedience is attracting acceleration. But here's the key. You can't just hear this message. You must absorb it. You must let it stir your spirit and prepare you for what's coming next. Because something is going to shift within the next few minutes that could reroute your entire year. Don't just listen casually. Pay attention. Something prophetic is being released now. And if something already feels like it's waking up inside you, if your heart is racing, if your soul is leaning forward, comment 777 below as a prophetic act of agreement. 7 is the number of divine completion, and today, something that's been incomplete in your life is being wrapped up by God's perfect hand. You're not here by accident. You're here because you're chosen. Because heaven has a message only you were meant to receive on this day. Are you ready to find out what it is? Are you ready to uncover the divine reason why May 15th was hidden in your timeline all along? Then stay with me, chosen one, because what happens next might just rewrite everything. God's chosen ones, listen to this on May 15th and everything will start to change. In seasons of stillness, life can feel frozen. Have you ever looked around and felt like nothing is moving? You've prayed for change, cried out for direction, and begged for signs, but all you've received is silence. In that silence, doubts start to settle in. Did I miss it? Has God forgotten me? Was the promise just a dream? But what if I told you the silence isn't absence, it's divine preparation? Does God ever seem silent to you in the hardest moments of life? Consider this. Sometimes God's timing isn't about rushing the miracle. It's about maturing the vessel. And that vessel is you. Think of the story of David, who was anointed as king as a young shepherd. But he didn't immediately step into that role. Instead, he spent years running from Saul, enduring hardship and loneliness. Was God absent in those years? No. He was preparing David. Psalm 18:30 reminds us, "As for God, his way is perfect. The Lord's word is flawless. He shields all who take refuge in him." Every moment of struggle, every season of waiting was a part of God's perfect plan for David's life. God's way is not measured by human time. Heaven operates on a higher rhythm, not the ticking of a clock, but the beating of eternal purpose. For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. What seemed like a delay in your life might have been a sacred pause, a divine protection. Have you ever wondered if the breakthrough you were longing for might have crushed you if it came too soon? Maybe the timing wasn't right yet. Just as you wait for fruit to ripen, God is waiting for the perfect time to release His promises. Think about the Israelites. God promised them the land of Canaan, but He didn't allow them to enter immediately. Why? The timing wasn't right. The Lord said to Moses, "I will drive out before you the Canaanites, the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Go up to the land flowing with milk and honey, but I will not go with you." Exodus 33:2-3. At that moment, God knew His people were not spiritually prepared for the battles ahead. It was not a no, it was a not yet. Now, listen carefully. Something has shifted in the spiritual realm. May 15th is no ordinary day. It's a divine appointment. Have you ever felt like something big is about to happen, but you can't see it yet? Just like how a seed doesn't show signs of life until it breaks through the soil, God's promises are often hidden in plain sight. There is a gate opening in the Spirit, and those who are aligned, awake, and ready will walk through into a radically different season. What if I told you the delay you've been experiencing wasn't denial, but preparation? The waiting has been working for you, not against you. Your breakthrough is coming, but it's crucial to stay focused, stay aligned, and stay vigilant. Much like the famous American author Maya Angelou once said, "We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated." In the waiting, God was strengthening you, preparing you for what's next. Even if you don't see it or feel it yet, faith doesn't wait for proof, it moves on prophecy. This is the word that God is giving you today. The delay is over. What was held back is being released. What was blocked is being opened. The closed doors are finally swinging wide. Your story wasn't meant to end in a dead stop. It was only a pause. Every silent day had a purpose. Every unanswered prayer has been gathering weight in heaven. But here's the twist. The closer your breakthrough comes, the more chaos may rise around you. Have you ever noticed that when your breakthrough is near, things get tougher? That's how you'll know it's real. When the enemy senses breakthrough, he'll throw distraction, fear, doubt, and confusion at you, like a storm before the dawn. In moments like these, it's easy to panic, but don't. What if the chaos around you is proof that your miracle is on the horizon? Just as in the Bible, when the disciples were caught in a storm, Jesus didn't prevent the storm, He calmed it. But He said to them, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" Mark 4:40. You are at the threshold of something big, and the storm is proof that it's real. Heaven doesn't move based on emotions, it moves on perfect timing. This is your moment. When things feel unstable, uncertain, and intense, don't panic. It's proof that you are on the verge of something extraordinary. In this very moment, just like an artist prepares their canvas for a masterpiece, God has been preparing you for what's to come. As real-life examples show us, many people who achieved great things had to endure seasons of waiting. Think of Oprah Winfrey, who faced numerous setbacks before becoming a media mogul. She was fired from her first TV job, but she didn't let that stop her. Her faith, despite the odds, carried her forward. Her story echoes the biblical truth that, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." Jeremiah 29:11. So, Don't let the silence or the chaos fool you. The breakthrough is near, and May 15th is a key moment in your journey. Heaven is ready to release what has been held back, and you, God's chosen one, are about to walk through that open gate into a new season. The time has come. Will you step into it with faith? But what happens next? That's the part most people miss, because when divine timing activates, there's one thing that God requires from you, and that one thing can either unlock the floodgates or keep them sealed for another season. Are you ready to discover what it is? Stay with me. What I'm about to share could be the key to unlocking your month of miracles. You've been planting in the dark for so long. Have you ever felt like you've prayed without seeing anything change? Like you've sown tears while smiling in front of others, speaking life, even though you secretly felt empty? And yet, you never stopped. You didn't give up when it would have been easier to walk away. You didn't curse God when everything seemed to fall apart. Have you ever felt like throwing in the towel, but something inside of you kept you going? You didn't disconnect from your purpose, even when the process seemed unbearable. That faith, that endurance, that quiet obedience when no one was watching, it moved heaven. You weren't just surviving, you were planting. And every prayer, every fast, every act of kindness, every choice to love instead of retaliate, it was a seed. But here's the mystery of the kingdom. Seeds don't shout. They don't warn you before they break the surface. They work in silence, in the unseen, and suddenly they arrive. Think of the mustard seed that Jesus spoke about in Matthew 17:20. If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, "Move from here to there," and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. That seed of faith, though small, is powerful in the hands of God. Have you been faithful with your mustard seed? It works in silence, and the moment you least expect it, it breaks through. And now, listen carefully. This isn't a season of planting. This isn't even a season of pruning. This is a season of arrival. Do you feel it? The plane is landing. The vision is forming. The connections, the clarity, the confirmation, they are all converging because God has declared over you, you've waited long enough. It's coming to you, not because you earned it or because you forced it, but because you were faithful when it didn't make sense. Do you realize that your faithfulness, even in the unseen moments, has positioned you for this season? Now, the heavens are responding. And let me tell you this, when God sends harvest, it doesn't come in trickles. It doesn't knock politely. It floods. Then he said to his disciples, "The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field." Luke 10:2. Miracles won't enter your life in an orderly line. They'll rush in like a wave. Opportunities will appear out of nowhere. Hearts that were once hardened will suddenly soften. Can you see it? Phone calls that shift your destiny. Ideas that birth new income streams. Doctors saying, "We can't explain it, but it's gone." While others may still be striving, you will begin receiving, not because you're more special, but because your appointment has come due. Doesn't that feel like divine timing? You don't need to chase it. You don't need to manipulate it. You just need to stay aligned, because what's yours is already walking toward you. But here's the twist that most don't expect. Arrival is not always comfortable. Sometimes the answer to your prayer arrives in the form of disruption. Sometimes the very thing you prayed for looks unfamiliar when it first shows up. Has something you prayed for ever seemed too big, too overwhelming when it arrived? Sometimes the open door feels like it's too much to handle, but don't let that scare you. That's confirmation that you've stepped into a space you couldn't have reached on your own. This isn't a repeat of last season. This isn't almost. This isn't one day. This is it. The day where what you carried in your spirit for years finally manifests in front of your eyes. Can you imagine that? The fulfillment of all those quiet prayers, all the tears and all the waiting, it's finally here. And here's the question for you. Are you ready for it? Because the moment you step into this new season, it may look different than what you imagined. It might be bigger than anything you've ever handled before. But know this, it's your time. This is your moment to shine. You've been faithful, and now heaven is about to pour out the floodgates of blessing over your life. But before we move forward, let me give you this prophetic warning. Not everyone around you will be ready for your arrival. Some will question it, some will resist it, and some will even try to remind you of the seasons where nothing was growing. Have you ever experienced people doubting your progress because they only remember your struggle? They may look at your current season of breakthrough and try to bring up the days when you were sowing in silence, when you were struggling, when you seemed invisible. But here's what I want you to hear today. Don't explain yourself. Don't shrink. Don't apologize for the favor on your life. In 1 Samuel 16:7, God reminds us, "Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." The people around you may not see what God sees, but God knows the cost. You've paid for this season in tears, in quiet moments of faith when no one was watching. You've sowed for this in silence, with unwavering belief in the promise, and now you are about to reap in joy. Can you feel it? The harvest you've been waiting for is here. But there's still one more layer to this arrival, something deeper that most people overlook. It's a truth that separates those who taste the promise from those who truly live in it. Have you ever wondered what sets apart those who experience a breakthrough moment from those who walk in it every day? There's a key that unlocks this, and I'm about to share it with you. When I do, it may change how you see everything, the delays, the pain, and even the purpose that you've been carrying. Are you ready to go deeper? Because this revelation is not just about your breakthrough, it's about your transformation. Stay with me, because what comes next will shift your atmosphere and reveal the deeper purpose of everything you've gone through. Why did the waiting feel so long? Why did the pain seem so intense? Could it be that you were being prepared for a greater purpose than you imagined? Everything you've endured, every delay you've faced, has been a part of God's perfect plan to get you to this moment. And now, the arrival of your blessing won't just be a moment, it will be a lifelong transformation. The atmosphere around you is about to change. Are you ready for it? Because the moment you've been waiting for is finally here. Faith isn't a feeling. It's not something you wait to feel motivated to use. Have you ever found yourself waiting for the right moment, the right feeling to start believing? It doesn't work like that. Faith is a force, a spiritual voltage that powers the movement of heaven on earth. Without it, even the greatest promises stay locked behind invisible walls, waiting for activation. Can you imagine a world where miracles don't happen simply because faith was never activated? Faith doesn't just stand still, hoping something will change. It moves mountains, shifts circumstances, and pulls divine promises into the physical realm. You see, miracles don't just happen by accident. They are pulled into reality by the hands of relentless faith. Think of the story of the woman with the issue of blood in Mark 5:34. Jesus said to her, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering." Her faith wasn't passive. She didn't just hope for healing. She reached out, believing that a touch of Jesus' garment could make her whole. Do you understand that? Her faith activated the miracle. She didn't wait for it to happen. She moved in faith. Let me make this clear. There is a difference between having faith and activating faith. You can believe in God. You can know His word. You can recite His promises. But unless you activate your faith daily, deliberately, and with authority, you will live surrounded by potential miracles that never manifest. Have you ever felt like you were surrounded by promises, yet they never seem to come to fruition? That's because faith is not passive. Faith is a weapon, and weapons must be wielded to be effective. Take Tyler Perry, for example. Have you ever heard of Tyler Perry's story? He went from being homeless to becoming a self-made billionaire in the entertainment industry, despite facing rejection, failures, and struggles. He never stopped believing in his purpose. Tyler Perry's relentless faith and perseverance to continue pushing forward in the face of adversity, even when no one believed in him, led to his breakthrough. In fact, he attributes much of his success to his deep faith. He was often ridiculed for his dreams and vision, but he stayed faithful. His story exemplifies the power of activated faith. So here's the revelation. Every day of May is a door, a supernatural window waiting for you to either walk through it with boldness or stand outside hoping it opens on its own. You've got to make a choice. Every moment, every opportunity is a doorway to something greater. Have you been waiting for an open door, or are you ready to declare it open by the power of your words? And today, May 15th, is not just a date on the calendar. It's a launch pad, a divine ignition point where your words become keys, your declarations become doors, and your mindset becomes the magnet for the miraculous. What would it look like if today you spoke with the authority of someone who knows they are stepping into the season of fulfillment? But here's what the enemy wants. He wants you to wake up each morning numb, distracted, disappointed, tired of believing, tired of hoping, tired of getting your hopes up only to be let down. Have you ever felt that weariness in your spirit? He wants you to stop speaking, because if he can silence your voice, he can stop your breakthrough from forming. But not this time. Not today. This time you rise. This time you fight back with your voice. Do you realize how powerful your voice is? This time you prophesy into your day before the day has a chance to steal your joy. You speak to your circumstances, declare your victory, and watch as heaven moves in response to your words. In Matthew 17:20, Jesus says, "If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you." Your words have the power to move mountains. Are you ready to speak to the mountains in your life today? The time to activate your faith is now. This is the moment you rise. So, before your feet hit the floor tomorrow morning, say this out loud. Miracles are finding me today. Say it like you mean it. Say it until your atmosphere feels it. Can you feel the power in those words? Say it until your doubts can't survive it. Say it until fear gets evicted and favor takes its place. Why? Because when you speak with faith, you're not just talking to yourself. You're commanding the supernatural to respond. And here's the truth. Heaven always moves where faith is loudest. Let me tell you something most believers forget. Angels respond to faith-filled words. Your declarations send assignments into motion. You might not see it, but in the spirit realm, every "I believe" is like a spark. And the more consistent you are with your declarations, the more intense the fire becomes. Faith is not about feeling good every day. It's about choosing to believe, even on the hard days. Have you ever faced days when believing felt impossible? That's when your faith is most powerful. Faith doesn't require the perfect conditions. It thrives in the middle of the storm. And May, this is not the time to coast. This is the month to build spiritual momentum. What do I mean by momentum? One word, one declaration, one act of trust at a time. Every morning is a blank scroll. What will you write on it? Will you choose fear or faith? Complaints or declarations? Doubt or destiny? The future doesn't answer to emotions. It responds to bold belief. Have you noticed how your thoughts can shape your reality? When you speak with authority, You're planting seeds in the soil of your future. Now, if you're thinking, "But I've spoken before and nothing changed," let me speak to that disappointment. Does this sound familiar? You prayed, declared, and believed, but the results didn't show up immediately. Just because the seed didn't sprout on your timeline doesn't mean it died. Think about the story of Joseph. He had a dream, but before he saw it fulfilled, he was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and thrown into prison. Did that mean the dream was dead? No. It meant the process was still unfolding. Some breakthroughs are so massive, so multidimensional, that they require time to align everything behind the scenes. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. So, don't let silence make you stop speaking. Don't let delay make you stop declaring. This is your faith sprint, and your words are the fuel. Every single day, heaven is listening. Can you imagine that? Every time you speak faith, you're drawing the miracle closer. You may not see it yet, but your words are setting the stage for the breakthrough you're about to walk into. Take, for example, Serena Williams. She's one of the greatest athletes of all time, but her journey to greatness was filled with setbacks, injuries, and doubts. Yet, despite the challenges, she always declared victory over her life and career. Her consistency in speaking belief into her future despite the odds is what fueled her to become a champion. She didn't let silence or delay stop her from declaring her greatness. What could happen in your life if you applied that same relentless faith to every circumstance? This is your moment. Keep declaring, keep speaking faith into your day, because every time you do, you draw heaven's attention. Miracles are finding you today. Are you ready to believe it? But here's where it gets interesting. There's a kind of faith that terrifies the enemy. It's a mindset, a way of thinking that, once you step into it, will make your life almost unrecognizable in just a few weeks. Have you ever felt like you've reached a place where your faith was so strong, you could feel things shifting around you? This type of faith doesn't just attract blessings, it transforms your identity from the inside out. And in the next part, I'm going to show you how to unlock it. But be warned, once you see it, you won't be able to go back to who you were before. Are you still with me? Good, because what's coming next might just rewire your entire perspective. There's something sacred happening right beneath the surface of your life. It's quiet, invisible to most, but undeniable to those who are sensitive in the spirit. Have you ever had moments where you felt something was shifting inside you, even when nothing around you had changed yet? God is not just healing your wounds, He's rewriting your story. Do you realize that your past is not the end of your journey, but the beginning of your purpose? That pain you never talked about, that failure you tried to forget, that moment that felt like the end of everything you dreamed, God is touching it. He's reframing it, redeeming it. Think of Oprah Winfrey, a woman who has openly shared the pain and struggles of her past, from abuse to being told she wasn't fit for television. Did you know that she once failed a screen test for a news station and was told she wasn't cut out for TV? Yet, she didn't let her history define her. Instead, she used those very struggles to fuel her success and create a platform where she could inspire millions. She transformed what the world thought would disqualify her into the very foundation of her destiny. She didn't let her past anchor her to failure. She used it as a stepping stone to greatness. Just like Oprah, you too are being called to rise above your past and use it as a platform for God's glory. Because the enemy has tried for too long to anchor your identity to your history, to convince you that your past is proof that you are disqualified from the promise. But hear this with your spirit. You are not what happened to you. You are not the mistake you made. You are not the shame you've carried in silence. You are becoming a new creation, and heaven isn't consulting your past to decide your future. Do you hear that? Your history is not what determines your destiny. God is. And He's not just healing you, He's redeeming everything the enemy tried to use against you. In fact, God is doing something radical with your history. He's turning it into a platform, a message, a weapon. The very place that once hurt you, that once felt like your weakest point, will become the place where God's glory shines the brightest. Are you ready for that kind of transformation? Because what once wounded you will now become the very place where you shine the brightest, where your testimony lights the way for others. Just like a diamond forms under intense pressure, your breakthrough is coming, and the very things that tried to break you will now be the testimony that leads others to Christ. It's time to shift your mindset. No longer will your past define you. Instead, let your faith and the redemption of your story propel you into your destiny. Listen to this truth. God doesn't just erase pain, He recycles it. He takes broken pieces and makes them sacred. Have you ever felt like your pain was wasted, like it would never have a purpose? But here's the amazing truth. He takes your lowest valley and transforms it into the stage for His highest purpose. That's why Isaiah 43:19 doesn't say, "I'm fixing the old." It says, "Behold, I am doing a new thing." New. Not recycled, not improved. New. That means the page is turning. The script is changing. Do you feel it? The very timeline of your life is being rewritten by the author of redemption. Your story isn't stuck in the past. It's moving forward. And the chapters ahead will be far more glorious than anything you've left behind. And here's the mystery. Sometimes, when God rewrites your story, He also removes people who only knew the previous chapter. Have you ever felt like you had to let go of someone who just couldn't understand the new you? They can't see the new version of you because they were only ever connected to the version of you that was broken, traumatized, or playing small. Let them go. Some characters aren't meant for your next scene. What's coming doesn't require validation. It requires alignment. Take Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, for example. Have you ever heard of his journey from humble beginnings to superstardom? Johnson grew up with very little, facing financial struggles and living in difficult conditions. After his dreams of becoming a professional football player fell short, he was homeless for a period of time. Yet, despite these challenges, he never gave up. He transformed his pain, his rejection, and his struggles into the fuel that drove him to become a world-renowned actor, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. Today, his story is one of redemption, where the very challenges that seemed to define him became the stepping stones to his success. Johnson himself has spoken about how the pain of failure and hardship has shaped him, saying, "Success at anything will always come down to this, focus and effort, and we control both." He didn't let his history anchor him to failure. Instead, he used it to build his future. As God turns your mourning into dancing, don't be surprised if joy feels unfamiliar at first. Have you ever felt like happiness was something you didn't deserve, or that it was too good to be true? Don't be surprised if peace makes you nervous, if favor feels too incredible to accept. You've lived in survival mode for so long, thriving feels like a foreign language. But now, you are shifting from survival to thriving. This is your new native tongue, freedom. And that weight you carried, the invisible heaviness that followed you everywhere, it's being lifted right now, in this very moment. The voice in your head that whispered, "You're not enough," is being silenced. Not by chance, not by luck, but by the sovereign hand of God, who's been rewriting your story in the background, even while you slept. You've cried long enough. You've questioned long enough. You've apologized for your existence long enough. And now, He's handing you a new pen. The next chapter doesn't start with pain. It starts with power. But before we step into it, there's one final key, a divine shift that completes the transformation. And when I reveal it, something in your spirit will unlock, because it's not just about what God is doing around you. It's about what He's about to ignite within you. Are you ready for that spark? Stay with me, because the final part will awaken something inside you that you didn't even know you were carrying. What if I told you you're about to walk into rooms you didn't even apply to enter? Can you imagine that? What if I told you that before this month ends, you'll receive a call, an opportunity, a breakthrough so divinely orchestrated that you'll have no explanation except this is God. You've walked through the fire. Now you're walking into your divine destiny. The next chapter is not just a continuation of your story, it's the beginning of a new season. The doors are opening, and you're walking through them with purpose. Let this truth sink in. You were never created for average. You were never meant to live a life of barely getting by, barely being seen, barely holding on. Have you ever felt like you were meant for more but couldn't see how to get there? You were designed for uncommon favor. Favor that doesn't make sense. Favor that skips the line. Favor that overrides logic, timelines, and human limits. And here's the wild part. God is not asking you to earn it. He's asking you to expect it. Do you know that what you expect in the spirit, you attract in the natural? If you can believe for it, if you can expect it, heaven will move on your behalf. This isn't about earning or striving. It's about positioning yourself to receive. Can you imagine that? The key to unlocking this divine favor is simple: expectation. Listen closely. There is a divine repositioning happening in the heavens. Have you felt like something is shifting in the unseen world around you? People who once overlooked you are about to need you. Doors that were bolted shut are swinging wide. The things you thought were delayed are actually being perfectly timed for maximum impact. Does that give you hope? What you thought was a setback was just a setup for a divine comeback. But here's the twist most people miss. Uncommon favor looks like chaos. At first, it looks like rejection. It feels like confusion. It shows up as delay. Have you ever been in a season where everything seemed to be falling apart, only to realize later that it was part of a divine plan? But in the kingdom of God, what looks like a no is often a routing to something better than you prayed for. God isn't withholding. He's redirecting. He's setting you up for something that's beyond your wildest dreams. So, if you've been in a season where nothing made sense, where your prayers felt unheard, your path unclear, and the doors just wouldn't open, don't panic. It wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Think of the story of Nelson Mandela. He spent 27 years in prison, a time that seemed like nothing but loss. Yet, those years weren't wasted. They were part of his preparation for a greater purpose: to lead South Africa into freedom. Have you ever felt like the time you've spent waiting, struggling, or enduring hardship is not wasted? It's being used to shape you for what's coming. Because what's coming to you now isn't just a blessing, it's a statement, a signature of heaven on your life that will leave people asking, how did this happen so fast? Can you imagine what that will feel like? People will be amazed at the sudden shift in your life, and they won't understand how it all came together. But you'll know the answer. You'll know it wasn't luck. It wasn't coincidence. It wasn't your resume or your network. It was May 15th. It was the moment you stopped doubting. It was the moment you started declaring. It was the day you said, I believe again. And that belief, that single act of faith, set everything into motion. Did you know your faith has the power to move mountains? Now the gears are turning. The angels are moving. The tables are being prepared in the presence of your enemies. Have you ever wondered how God can turn your enemies into witnesses of His power? And your name is being whispered in rooms your feet haven't even entered yet. Your future is being prepared in ways you can't even see yet. But it's coming. Are you ready for the uncommon favor that's about to flood your life? But I need to tell you something powerful. Uncommon favor isn't just about what you receive, it's about who you become in the process. Have you ever noticed that when God's favor touches your life, it doesn't just change your circumstances, it transforms you? When favor finds you, it doesn't just change what's around you, it changes who you are. You walk different, you speak different, you expect more. You live with divine confidence because you've seen what heaven can do in a moment. Can you imagine walking with that kind of confidence? The kind of faith that says, I know I'm favored and nothing is impossible for me. So let me ask you, are you ready to stop surviving and start thriving? Because the window is open. The invitation has been sent. The atmosphere is shifting. Have you felt that? That sense that something is about to change, that you're on the cusp of a breakthrough. The next 21 days of your life could look nothing like the last 21 months if you dare to believe. What would it take for you to step into that kind of belief, where you know God is moving on your behalf? But here's where it gets even deeper. You think you've seen God's hand before? What if I told you He's just getting started? Isn't it amazing to think that God, the creator of the universe, is still working behind the scenes on your behalf? What if the breakthroughs, the miracles, and the opportunities you've been praying for are only the beginning? What if what you've seen so far is just a preview of what's coming next? The best is still ahead. And what's coming next in the final moments of this message isn't just encouragement, it's a divine activation. Something is about to break open, and you need to be ready for it. Are you still here? Because what comes next might just unlock the floodgates. This isn't just about hearing a good word. This is about the word moving you into action. Do you feel that shift happening within you? It's time for you to step into your destiny, to walk in the favor God has promised you. The floodgates are opening. Are you ready to receive it? This is the moment. Every word you've heard, every feeling that has stirred deep inside you, every instance when your heart raced with anticipation, none of it is by accident. You didn't stumble upon this video by chance. No, you were chosen. Heaven's hand has guided you here. You are marked for such a time as this. The transformation has already begun, but now we make it official. We seal this divine shift together. Let's pray. Father, I thank you for this sacred moment, for this divine appointment on May 15th. You've orchestrated this day long before I even realized it. I stand in full faith, ready to receive every miracle you've prepared for me. Every breakthrough, every healing, every open door, every divine reversal, I claim them in your name. No more delays. Let this be the moment when everything begins to accelerate. Let the silence that once seemed deafening turn into a season of celebration. Father, I declare that every door that has been closed before me will now burst open. Just as you parted the Red Sea for the Israelites, you will part the ways for me. And just like Joseph, who faced rejection and betrayal, but was later elevated to save nations, I too will see my elevation. Have you ever wondered why some of the most powerful blessings in life come only after trials? It's in the waiting, in the silence, that God is working wonders behind the scenes. I break any agreement with fear, and I align myself with unwavering faith. As the Apostle Paul reminds us in Romans 8:28, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. I trust that every season in my life, even the hardest ones, has been shaping me for something greater. Now, I step into this new season with boldness and confidence, fully convinced that your promises over my life are yes and amen. I claim uncommon favor. I receive joy that overflows and peace that surpasses understanding. In the words of Pope Francis, the future starts today, not tomorrow. The future that you have planned for me begins right now. Consider the story of Walt Disney, who faced rejection after rejection yet never gave up. He said, "All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them." You too were born to overcome obstacles and achieve the impossible. God has marked you for greatness. You have everything within you to succeed, and this moment is the tipping point. Now, ask yourself, what will you do with this season? Will you hesitate, or will you walk boldly into the promises of God? Will you stay where it's comfortable, or will you step out in faith, trusting that God is leading you to something extraordinary? Today is your day. Don't let it pass by unnoticed. You were chosen to be a part of this divine moment. The same God who raised Lazarus from the dead is raising you into a new life today. Every challenge you've faced, every setback you've encountered, is just the beginning of the story God is writing for you. So, let's walk into this new chapter with the confidence that we serve a God who is bigger than our problems, who sees the end from the beginning, and who has a purpose for every detail of our lives. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. Let this be the day you claim your breakthrough. Now take a deep breath. Can you feel it? That isn't just emotion, that's activation. A fire has been ignited in your spirit, and it will not die out. You are no longer the person you once were. You stand at the precipice of something divine, something monumental, and from this moment on, you will live as someone who knows heaven is backing them. This is your moment. This is your time. Think about this. Have you ever heard of the moment when Moses stood before the burning bush, uncertain yet called to a higher purpose? That was a moment of divine activation. God was calling him into the next chapter of his destiny. Now, just like Moses, you are being called to something greater. You may not have expected it, but you are in the midst of your own burning bush moment right now. Make this moment prophetic. Don't just sit back and watch. Declare it. Speak it into the atmosphere. Comment below right now. May 15th is my day. My miracles begin now. Let the world know you've crossed over. Let them see that you're no longer the same person. Just like the Israelites crossing the Red Sea, you've passed through the waters of your past, and you're stepping into a new promise, a new season. Have you ever wondered when everything started to change for someone? When they look back and trace their steps to a specific day that turned everything around? When they started to walk in favor, blessings, and breakthrough? If someone asks you later, when did everything change for you? You will smile and say, it was May 15th, the day I decided to believe again. This isn't just a new chapter in your life. This is a new book written by the hand of God. It's a story that is sealed in faith, signed in fire, and ready to unfold in divine timing. Remember the words of St. Augustine, who said, "Pray as though everything depended on God. Work as though everything depended on you." You've activated the prayer. Now walk in the work. Your month of miracles has begun. The door has been opened. Your divine breakthrough is already here, waiting for you to walk in it. You've crossed over, and the past is no longer your destination. From this moment forward, you will see your life change, not just by a chapter, but by an entirely new book that God is writing with his own hands. So, step forward in boldness. Don't look back. Don't even second guess. This is your time. The power of heaven is behind you, and nothing can stop the miracles that are now being activated in your life. In the words of the renowned theologian C.S. Lewis, you are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. And today your dream is coming true. Go walk in it and never look back. This is the moment when everything starts to change. You've just stepped into something extraordinary, something bigger than what your eyes can even fully comprehend right now. Your spirit is already attuned to the divine frequency, and the atmosphere around you is charged with the power of heaven. The shift has happened, and now it's time to let this truth settle deeply in your heart. Have you ever seen the moment when a seed is planted in the ground? At first it seems small, insignificant even, but soon it begins to break through the soil, reaching for the light, growing and transforming into something unrecognizable. This is the same for you. The seed of destiny that was planted in your life has now broken through the surface, and everything around you is about to change. No more hiding, no more settling. You are stepping into the fullness of what God has prepared for you. Now, let's pause for a moment and reflect on the power of belief. Think about what Jesus said in Mark 11:24. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. That belief, that unwavering faith, is what activates the power of God in your life. You've just made the decision to believe again. And because you've chosen faith, you will see doors open that no one thought possible. You will experience breakthrough in areas where you've been stuck, and you will walk in favor that others could only dream of. This is a divine reset, and just as God turned the mourning of Job into a season of restoration, He's turning your trials into triumphs. You may have faced seasons of difficulty, moments when you wondered if things would ever change, but just like Job, the season of your restoration is here. God is going to restore you, but not just to where you were before. No, He is going to give you more joy, more peace, more favor, and more blessings than you could ever have imagined. Take a moment and ask yourself, what am I going to do with this divine reset? Will you continue to walk in the same patterns, or will you boldly step forward into the abundance God has set before you? The choice is yours. God is offering you a new season, a fresh start, and all He's asking from you is that you take the step forward in faith, with the belief that He is working everything for your good. In the same way that a master painter envisions his masterpiece before ever picking up a brush, God has already seen your victory. You are His masterpiece, and He is crafting something beautiful in your life. You may not see it all right now, but trust that every step you take is leading you closer to the finished work He has in mind. As the great artist Pablo Picasso once said, "The purpose of art is washing the dust of daily life off our souls." Your life, too, is being transformed from the inside out. It's being refined, reshaped, and made more beautiful than ever before. And this transformation isn't just for you. You were chosen, not just for yourself, but for the generations that are coming after you. You are creating a legacy of faith, hope, and resilience that will inspire others. Your courage to step into this new season will be the testimony that others cling to when they face their own battles. You are walking in divine favor, not just for your own breakthrough, but for the breakthrough of those who are watching you, those who are counting on you to lead the way. So, what will you do with this moment? The choice is yours. You've already crossed over, and now you're stepping into a destiny that cannot be reversed. Take every step boldly, knowing that heaven is backing you. You will not fail. You will not fall short. You are destined for greatness. The world is waiting for you to rise, and rise you will. Keep walking, keep believing, and never look back. This is just the beginning of what God is about to do in your life. This is your moment, your season of breakthrough. You've already stepped into the fullness of what God has for you, and there's no turning back. The foundation has been laid, the doors are opening, and heaven is pouring out its favor. As you walk forward, trust that God is guiding each step with precision, orchestrating everything in your favor. You may not see the entire picture right now, but know this: each piece is coming together in divine timing. Have you ever felt like you've been standing at the edge of something amazing, yet unsure of how to take the first step? That's the point of divine acceleration, when God pushes you beyond your comfort zone to a place where only faith can sustain you. It's like the story of Peter stepping out of the boat and walking on water. He didn't wait until the storm subsided. He stepped out in faith, and the miracle happened. Just like Peter, God is calling you to step out, not when it feels safe, but when His voice is clear, calling you to something greater. And just like God empowered Peter to walk on the water, He is empowering you to defy the impossible. The same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead is at work in you, and it is not bound by time or circumstance. In the words of the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. You don't have to see the whole path right now, but trust that with each step you're getting closer to the destiny God has for you. In this new season, your courage will be your greatest weapon. As you walk in faith, the enemy will try to remind you of your past, of the struggles, of the failures. But don't listen. Remember that God's promises are greater than your past. Just as He called the Apostle Paul to be a vessel of grace despite his history, He is calling you into a new story, a story written with victory, hope, and divine purpose. God has prepared you for this moment, and you are not stepping into the unknown alone. The angels of heaven are surrounding you, and God's favor is like a shield around your life. He will go before you, making every crooked path straight. As Isaiah 45:2 says, I will go before you and will level the mountains. I will break down gates of bronze and cut through bars of iron. Every obstacle, every mountain, every wall that has stood in your way will crumble before the power of God's love. But this isn't just about you. This is about the legacy you are building. The choices you make today will affect the generations to come. Just as Abraham's faith led to the blessings of nations, your obedience will open doors not only for you but for those who come after you. Your life is becoming a beacon of hope and inspiration for others. Have you ever wondered how your life can impact the world around you? Just like David, who was chosen as a young shepherd and became the king, you are being set apart for a higher purpose. As you move forward, remember that God is not only with you, but in you, empowering you to do the impossible. You are walking in the divine favor that was destined for you before the foundation of the earth. Your story is unfolding, and it is one of redemption, triumph, and legacy. So, what will you do now? The time has come for you to walk boldly into the life you've always dreamed of, the life God has planned for you. Every step you take is leading you closer to your destiny, and as you take those steps, know that God is beside you, leading you with unwavering love and strength. Keep your eyes on the promises ahead, knowing that you are walking into a future filled with divine blessing, favor, and purpose. You're not just a survivor, you are a conqueror, chosen for this moment, set apart for a divine destiny. Your story is just beginning, and the world has yet to see the full impact of what God is about to do through you. Don't just walk into your destiny, run into it. And as you do, let every step echo the truth that you are God's chosen one, marked for greatness and destined to change the world. Keep going and don't look back. Your future is waiting for you, and it is more glorious than you can imagine. As you continue to move forward, I want you to remind yourself of one truth. The moment you decided to believe again, everything shifted. That was the defining moment, the one that marks the beginning of a new chapter in your life. Just as God called the Israelites out of slavery, He's calling you out of your past, out of your fears, and into a future full of His promises. Remember when the Israelites were at the edge of the Red Sea, facing what seemed to be an insurmountable obstacle? They thought there was no way out, but God said, "Move forward," and the sea parted. This is the season when your Red Sea is parting. The path may seem unclear, but God has already gone before you, making the way. As you move forward, remember that just like He did for them, He's making a way for you in the wilderness and in the deserts of your life. But here's the key. When the Israelites stepped into the sea, it didn't part until they took that first step. The miracle happens when you move, when you take that first step of faith, trusting that God is already there, preparing the way. Are you ready to take that step? The journey will not be without its challenges. You may face moments of doubt, you may feel overwhelmed, but remember this: I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. You are not walking this path alone. The same God who was with David as he faced Goliath is with you today. The same God who brought Daniel out of the lion's den is the God who is walking with you through every trial. Nothing is impossible for the God who called you by name. I want you to take a moment and visualize the future you've been waiting for. What does it look like? Where do you see yourself? The dreams God has placed in your heart are not just fantasies. They are the blueprint of the future He has for you. He has equipped you with everything you need to walk in that future. Your gifts, your talents, your faith. These are the tools God has given you to change the world. Look at people like Oprah Winfrey, who rose from a life of poverty and hardship to become one of the most influential women in the world. Or Thomas Edison, who failed countless times before finally inventing the light bulb. Their stories are testimonies of perseverance, faith, and stepping out in boldness, even when the world said it was impossible. You too have been chosen for greatness. You have what it takes to achieve the dreams that God has placed in your heart. What would happen if you truly believed that everything God said about you was true? What if you stopped doubting and fully stepped into the destiny He's designed for you? What if you believed, without question, that He's making all things work together for your good? The time for hesitation is over. It's time for you to take hold of everything God has for you. God is inviting you to a higher level, and this is just the beginning. The door is wide open. Are you ready to walk through? There's no more waiting for the right moment. It's here. The opportunities are right in front of you, and God is calling you to step into them. As you walk into this new season, remember that you are not just walking into a new chapter of your life, but a whole new book. This is a book that God is writing with His own hand, and He's given you the pen. Your story is one of victory, of divine favor, and of miracles. Don't let fear stop you from stepping into it. This is your time. Your destiny is unfolding right now, and everything is shifting in your favor. You are walking in the blessing that comes when you believe, when you trust, and when you take the steps that lead you into the promises of God. Keep moving forward, keep trusting, and keep believing. The best is yet to come, and your miracles are already on their way. And as you walk into this new season, don't look back. You've been chosen. You've been called, and the world is waiting for you to rise. The time is now. Keep walking in faith, knowing that with each step, you are one step closer to the greatness that God has in store for you. This is the moment your life changes forever. As we close, I want you to take a moment to reflect on everything you've heard today. May 15th isn't just another day on the calendar. It is a divine moment in time, a turning point in your life. It is the day when everything that has been hidden is revealed, when every prayer you've whispered in silence is heard, and when every doubt you've carried will be replaced with divine certainty. This is the moment when everything begins to shift in your favor. God has been preparing you, shaping you, and waiting for you to step into your destiny. Now that time has come. Your breakthrough is not far off. It's already unfolding. But just like the Israelites who had to take that step of faith into the unknown, you too must be ready to walk boldly into the change that God is bringing into your life. Trust Him, for He is the one who has ordained this moment. The doors that have been locked will be flung wide open, and the plans He has for you are far greater than you can imagine. This is your time, your season, your moment to shine in the purpose He has called you to fulfill. If this message has touched your heart and you feel led to support the mission of spreading God's word, we humbly invite you to donate through the Super Thanks button. Your generosity helps us continue delivering messages of hope, faith, and transformation to those who need it most. But no matter if you choose to donate or not, we want to express our deepest gratitude for your unwavering support. We appreciate you being here, listening, and walking with us on this journey. Your presence is a blessing. Now, if you felt a spark in your spirit today, don't let it end here. Like this video to let us know it resonated with you. Subscribe so you can be part of this growing community of faith, where we encourage and support one another. Leave a comment below, because your story, your thoughts, and your voice matter. What you share could inspire someone else to step into their own divine calling. And don't forget to share this message with those you know who might need it. Someone is waiting for the breakthrough that you've received. May God bless you abundantly as you take this next step into the fullness of His plan for your life. You are chosen, you are empowered, and you are about to walk into a season of unimaginable blessings. Stay in His light, trust in His timing, and remember, your story is just beginning. May His peace, favor, and joy surround you every step of the way.